All right, I'm Andrew Easton with the Nebraska ESUCC, and I'm so grateful to Nick Ziegler of ESU5 today for joining me as we share with you an overview of the 5-part remote learning framework that we've put together in support of Nebraska schools and their move to remote learning. On this page, you'll find resources specific to each of these 5 parts, but we're going to give you a little bit of an overview here at the top of the page so you kind of know what to expect. So with that being said, I want to welcome Nick, and he is going to talk with you a little bit about those 5 respective parts that you'll see featured here.
Excellent. I think number one, Andrew, we all need to take a deep breath. We are good educators. You are a fabulous educator. We hope that as you're looking at this chart, your takeaway is remote learning. Best practices in remote learning aren't all that divergent, aren't all that different from best practices in your classroom. We need to answer 5 core questions, 5 key questions. Number 1, in the pink, what are students going to learn? Here, potentially, we need to go through the process of chunking that information a little bit better, maybe breaking down larger unit objectives into manageable bites of information. Number 2, what content are kids going to access? So the key here is that we're not relying on mom and dad to be the sole source of instruction, be it a reading, an offline reading. Maybe it's a video where you're incorporating an ed puzzle or something like that to make it interactive. Or maybe it's that live synchronous connection where kids are connected to you via Google Meet or Zoom. But what content, what learning experience are students going to have around that objective for that small set of objectives? We need to, number 3, students need to be able to answer the question, am I on the right track? Have I understood the instruction? They need to get some immediate feedback in those process activities. Before they move on to practice, where it's a little bit more independent, they need to know that they're on the right track. And if not, then maybe they need to go back and view or read that instruction one more time. Next up is practice. What are kids going to do to deepen their understanding of that content area objective? That might be online practice with some of those gamified experiences like a Bookit or a quiz is, or maybe it's an offline experience where you can still engage kids in those worksheets and have them then turn it into via your learning management system, something like a Seesaw or a Canvas, for example. Finally, we're diving deeper. You can see the progression. We had the process activity where kids we want to make sure that kids have understood the instruction, the practice activity where students are beginning to apply those objectives, and now product, deeper on that depth of knowledge chart or that Bloom's taxonomy, if you're more familiar with that. We're asking kids to show what they know in relation to that objective. Not thinking huge product here, not a 50-page essay or a 20-slide presentation. Quick and dirty, show me you're able to apply this concept to a novel context. That's called transfer, right? And so giving students the opportunity to show what they know.
Yeah, when you look at those 5, this, as you mentioned, is approachable. This is stuff that we're familiar with doing in the classroom. And as you access these, again, we've broken those down into their respective chunks on the page below. And with each of those, you'll find not only a little bit more of an explanation from Nick and myself regarding those respective pieces, but some tech tool recommendations and some different ways to help you kind of grow into being able to do those respective elements in that remote space and even hybrid in some instances. And so hopefully you find this helpful. From here, you'll notice too that there's a best practices page, which is going to build out things like social, emotional, behavioral learning and establishing norms in Zoom, for example. And so for some of those types of conversations, we point you to that page to kind of extend the work that is here, which is that framework. And so, Nick, thanks for your time. And we really hope that you find this page helpful and are very excited to share. So check it out.